handy and useful. The other important part about the chat box is once it's open, you see the three dots at the bottom right. Click the three dots, hit Save Chat. If you don't know where it saves it, it says, pops up right above it, says Show in Folder. Now, the other element is the mute button. So if you have some loud, distracting noises in the background, go to mute. Margaret Ann, are we doing a back and forth Q&A, or are you wait for the finish of the presentation? How do you
I'm
like this to
actually
roll?
going to do a presentation, Bernie.
Okay, fair enough. And so just go on to mute, save your questions, or post your questions in the chat. And back over to you, Margaret Ann.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bernie. Okay, I believe we are streaming live now, and welcome to everybody. Again, this is our Tuesday Connect Ottawa call from 1 to 2. And right now, what we're going to do is go around the room and have everybody do a quick introduction of yourselves. Don't forget to share your information in the chat. And how about, let's start with Willie today.
Thank you, Margaret Ann. Great to be here. My name is Willie Nichol. I'm a personal development and transformation coach after a 31-year career in police and 7 years in corporate security. So I essentially help people to find their own solutions to whatever's holding them back in life or stopping them getting the results they really want. And I offer total confidentiality, no judgment, and some laughs along the way. Thank you.
I love that. I love the laughing along the way. A little humor fixes everything. And what about you, Tanya?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Hewitt from Beyond Safety Compliance. I actually just did a LinkedIn post talking about something I heard on CBC Ottawa Morning yesterday that talked about smoke detectors, and that there's a new ad campaign out there to get people to be more attuned to the a 911 call, that, you know, they're saying, so what did you hear? Or more importantly, what did you not hear? And you didn't hear the beeping of a smoke detector. And, you know, the end of the story being that, you know, the child and mother died and all this kind of thing for the lack of a smoke detector. The host had said that, oh, well, I got a renovation on my place this summer, and, you know, I was informed that you only need a smoke detector per floor. And this fire marshal said, look, if you are charging devices in bedrooms, that is a fire hazard. You need a smoke detector in every bedroom. This is a beautiful example of, if you look at the law, that's a necessary condition, but it's a minimum bar. If you really want to be safe and healthy, you need to rise above what the law says, because the law is just not strong enough to be able to protect us from what could be harming us. So beyond safety compliance, how does your work look?
Wow, that's a good reminder. Thanks, Tanya. Alan, how about you?
Well, I'm Alan and I live in the UK. I'm a mindset coach. I had a mindset shift 60 years ago. And so I've spent, although I'm an electromechanical engineer by trade, I've spent most of 60 years teaching, training, mentoring, and coaching. And I'm putting together a new mindset program, which is 60 layers of mindset developed across 60 years of experience. And I've now been asked if I can do a school version of this, because my target audience is people approaching retirement, but now they want this in the schools. So that's the next program I'm working on at this moment.
Awesome. Congratulations, Alan. That's great news.
Thank you.
And Claudia. Oh, Claudia, you're on mute. We can't hear you. It's on mute, your little microphone.
Hi.
There.
Hi. I'm Claudia Sistelli. I'm Italian. Sorry for my English, because it's a long time that I don't speak English, because I have learning it a long, long time ago. So I am a social media marketer, and I'm working with a IT company, an information technology company, as social media manager and a web content manager and creator.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You're great,
this-
Jen. You've got a great accent. I love it. So you did a great job. Thank you,
Oh,
Claudia.
thank you, Margaret.
Yes.
My accent.
And-
I think my accent is terrible, so I would like to learn English very, very well. So in fact, la volta successiva, the preview, I add the subtitle. So I want to learn better all you speak.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to have to keep moving, but you know what? You're in the right place. Just keep coming out to webinars, engage in conversation with people, and you'll pick it up because you've got it there, girl.
Okay.
I'm going to have to move on to Michael now. How about Michael? Nice to see you.
All right. Hi, everyone. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I'm Michael.
Yes.
I'm Michael Ahigima from Aliac. I partner with two companies. One is a platform that has about 150 retailers and stores in Canada and 400 stores in the US, more to help individuals and families save when they shop, when they get groceries, when they buy gas. And I also partner with another company that helps individuals to get good rates on their hydro and their gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great to have you here, Michael. Nice to see you again. And what about Jen?
Hello, everyone. I'm Jen Gibson, and I run an IT support company. So we do IT project management, IT tech repairs, and we do infrastructure changes and IT security.
Perfect.
Guys, thank you.
Great to have you here. And Fatima? And I'm not sure if she's there. Did I get everybody else? Then I will move over to Bernie.
Hello, folks. Bernie Franzo from Creative Insight Consultants. I do business connections. I'll just put in my chat the contact details. I'm also involved with two podcasts. One, the Knack for Business. It's about different business constructs, and it's one a week we launch it out. The other one is the Property Wizard. It's about commercial real estate and getting involved in that space. It doesn't matter where you are. The content is applicable everywhere. Although we talk about laws here in Ontario, it basically it's the same everywhere, the impact. And Margaret Ann, I guess I'm going to be doing your intro. So since you're our guest speaker today. So folks, let me swing this over. And so I'll ask you to mute your mics, and we will be getting into this in 3, 2, 1. Margaret Ann is a hospitality veteran. She has over 4 decades of experience in business. She's been working as an entrepreneur from owning a bar to working every aspect of the hospitality industry, from management to sales to marketing to customer service. She has an entrepreneurial spirit combined with her firm knowledge of the industry, which allows her to succeed. No matter what industry she's in, Margaret Ann knows that success comes from surrounding yourself with doers who will help you achieve your vision. Margaret Ann, over to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bernie. And thanks everybody for joining us today. I truly appreciate it. And I'm really excited to be talking today about marketing. It's actually a topic I just love. I love the science behind why we buy, who buys, what it takes to get there. And in my experience, no matter what you're trying to accomplish in your business or personal life, every day is an opportunity to learn. And I believe we are all marketing something constantly. So for myself, From the days of having a successful business for distributing newspapers in the neighborhood as a teenager, to owning a bar, several companies in direct sales, a business network, and even creating events and fundraisers. Everything was definitely a great learning experience to understand the benefits for a great marketing strategy, even if at the time I may not have realized the proper terminology. And maybe a few of you can relate to that as well. So what did I do? I spent the last year fine-tuning, learning new skills, being introduced to tools and technologies that can help fast-track the success in marketing with my current partner, Stéphane Mettrel, in Unified Remote Work, who is a digital marketing analyst and a master of workflows. So as Richard Branson, we all know who he is, says, surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Give them everything they need to grow and your business will thrive. And in the spirit of team, I just like to change that up a bit. And I suggest surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Figure out what each of you need to grow and your business will thrive. So on that note, let's get started. And I'm going to attempt to share my screen and get my presentation rolling. So please have patience, because usually I'm running the show, but I'm only a master of other people's shows, not my own. So as this should be presenting. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah, it's okay. Whew! First step. So, this is kind of funny when we're talking about going to market today, because as I was mentioning to a few before the call, and I think it's important to share, we all have to start somewhere. So if you're on the call and you're just starting a business, or if you're actually full-fledged in a business and you've got a lot of experience, perhaps you could be a mentor and share your expertise at the end of the presentation. But we're just going to touch on some things about what going to market is today, and coming up with a strategy, and it's basically creating some SMART goals. So I'm the co-founder of, or one of the founders of Unified Remote Work, and I'll just go quickly through this presentation, and then we can do a Q&A and have a conversation at the end. I love to have conversations with everybody, because I know there's a lot more smart people out there than me. And anything as we're going along, if you have a question or a comment, just throw it in the chat and we can come back to that later, okay? So as with any plan, there's a few constants. So in this, for example, you're just going to have to know who your ideal clients are. I heard a few of you talking about that when you came on the call. Have a clear goal, and then position your product and execute. So today what we're going to do is focus on these these 5 points: preparing to go to market, why webinar marketing, planning your marketing strategy, what's the goal, and how do I get started? So preparing to go to market, again, this is like setting a goal. So you're going to want to consider the plan and the messaging. So who is your target audience? What's your value proposition? What is your product? Are you launching something? Is it a new service? You want to get that really honed down, and it's really best to focus on one thing with everything that you do. And you always hear when you're in business, like, clear, where is this leading to? And learning that with Unified Remote Work, we work with artificial intelligence. One of the things that I will tell you that it has done for me is help me really focus, because it takes the emotion out of the equation and it just sends you. So there's no like thinking about all this. It's like, let's have a clear definition. And then we think about content development. So how are we going to put this out to our audience? Is it our marketing video? Is it how-to? Is it landing pages? Are you going to update your website? Where is the content landing? What are you going to create to help with this content development? And then when we're talking about external communication, external is, okay, think about, is it newsletters? How about blog posts? Emails to your users? Is it social media? So those are the external communications, and internal is working with your team. And when you're preparing to go to market, it's hard for everybody to read your mind. So this is really important to remember, I think, too, which sometimes I think we get so excited about things that we may neglect this step, but it's how are we going to update the team that we're working with? Where are we going to collaborate and coordinate on these projects? Are we doing supporting training for them? How are we going to support them? And the last thing is when we're preparing to go to market, it's a lead generator. So what does that actually mean? Is that going to go to what kind of call to action is it going to be? Is it going to subscribe them to an email campaign? Is it going to create ambassadors maybe for what your product is? Is it going to be something that you are sharing on social media, or you can put it on your website? Think about, where is this generated? Is it to sell the product? What is the call to action? Where are the leads going to go? Next, we're going to, and I actually, for this is a whole actually workshop on its own, because this is really important before you actually go to the next steps to have this nailed down. So today, like I mentioned, I thought I'd talk about a little bit more about webinar digital marketing. And we're actually also launching some extra services with our Keynote Tuesday, which got started a few years ago with the pandemic. And seeing that there is a demand for people promoting their product or launching a business or whatever, sometimes that's hard to do it by yourself. So, you know, the webinars that we're doing are just one small example of things that could actually help share your business. So I think sometimes when you go to do this, even for me, I shared before, I'm a nervous wreck doing presentations, and I think that that's okay to share. But the big important thing to do is, if you're launching whatever, is to just step out of your comfort zone and do it. And a lot of times we might think, oh, you know what? I don't really have any relevant. I'm not really the expert. I don't really know what to say. I don't have anything of value, but you know, that's really not truth. And whether you are launching a business, or you're doing a demonstration, or you're talking about industry trends that are happening and actually are relevant to your business, or question and answers. And when I say that, it's like, are you making a post on social media and actually everybody's looking at and asking questions? These are all notes that you are taking, right? And you are collecting them all someplace, and those really powerful posts or articles you create, you actually gathered them someplace in a really neat spot. These are all information that are relevant, that you can actually come out and share with the public. So don't think of it as, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to do that, or what would I share? I think that if you go back to all of that, that will take that fear out of that. So again, we're going to just go back to quickly planning your marketing strategy. It's no different whether we're planning a webinar, whether you're planning a goal in your life, whatever it is. It's sitting down and creating a plan. And often that's just setting some SMART goals. So you need to sit back, and you know, this is when I'm not sure how many people work with a team, but if you don't, that's something else that Unified, I really liked about it when we got started, was because Stefan, myself, AI, and as people come into our digital ecosystem, you've got people to brainstorm with. So anytime, if you want to have a chat and go, well, I'm not really sure how I could utilize this, I'd love to offer a call and let's have a chat and just do some simple brainstorming. That's what I'm good at. I love to think outside the box. So what is the goal? Are you just starting a new business and you're trying to go, I need some prospects, I need some clients, I don't even have anybody to send an email to. Is it to convert people? So you already have the product and you're trying to convert that into a sale. is it just strengthening your brand identity. So by actually doing like a webinar like this, now I could actually take this piece of real estate and use it embed on my website. I could share it on social media. I know it's going to go in the Connect Ottawa Resource Center. So there's different things about doing a webinar, even as simple as this, that can actually help you with your brand identity. It establishes you in the industry. So many times, I'm sure there's a lot of you on this call that have a wealth of information, but if we're not going and telling anybody, who else is going to talk about us? And again, one of the reasons I particularly love these type of webinars, because we've had, I don't know, probably a couple hundred speakers over the last few years, or at least over 100, is it gets their word out. We start to get we know a little bit more about you, who you are, what makes you tick. You know, if I'm feeling comfortable, I can reach out. Do I want to do business with this person? So I think there's all sorts of different goals to think about when you're doing this. And with everything, just write it all down. And don't worry about being perfect writing it down. Just write it down, because all this information that you gather and the questions and the things, or when it wakes you up at 3 in the morning and you're going, oh my God, I just had that thought. It all becomes relevant down the road. I don't believe anything happens by chance. So really consider, what's the goal? Again, just highlighting, you know, is it the products? Is it what type of promotions and discounts maybe you're going to offer? How many deals do you want to close? And specifically like that, if you're on a call, if you're reaching out, if you're doing those 10 calls a day, it's no different than that. What's your closing ratio? How many people do you want to connect with? What is that goal? And going back to webinar, there are different ways you can do it. So if you're totally going, oh my God, okay, I really need to practice this 3 or 4 times, or, you know, I'm just going to record myself, or I need somebody to record so I feel comfortable and I can go through it. Think about that. You could host a live, you could do a recorded, and you could do even automated webinars. So a lot of times this way, it's a lot more personable because we've got people in the view slot, but you'll also see a lot of people just do a straight webinar. So in all honesty, you don't really know who is attending. But the fact is now you've got this little piece of real estate that or video that you can actually use for your marketing as well. And again, always remember, what are you going to talk about? Yeah, remember, it's not about you, it's about your audience. And I'm looking at your faces on the screen and I just keep going, isn't that so important? And because so many times we get wrapped up with what we're going to do, it's just like we're blah, 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 blah. But is that what the audience really wants to learn? Well, one of the things that we did behind the back office, and actually I know Willie's on the call here and he probably doesn't even know, because I'll be totally upfront. The last few years have definitely been another learning experience, kind of coming into this online business, not doing everything effectively like I probably did more in person, because I ran a business network. So I was really good on the phone, following up and doing it. And I wasn't doing a very good job here. I seemed to get all discombobulated when the pandemic hit, what we were doing, a lot of stuff happening, creating things. And I go, oh my gosh, okay, so I didn't do that. But what we did do is we had surveys. So even though we're a little late, I started going back through the surveys, and it was interesting to see that a lot of people wanted to learn about what does go-to-market mean? What does it take? What do I really have to do? And so hence, that is where this webinar came. It took me a bit to step out of my comfort zone to do this in person. But I'm realizing if we're doing this for everybody else, then I'm going to have to get comfortable with myself. So some of you, again, may be seasoned, like Willie. I'll point out Willie because he's very calm, and if you knew his history, you probably know why. He was sharing a little bit about how he got to where he was. But if this is something new to you, this is a perfect and ideal spot to do this, because I want this Connect Ottawa call to be warm and welcoming and take that fear factor out of it. So if you're going, I don't know what to say or whatever, hey, that's what we're here for. We are all here to help you in business. And whether it's Connect Ottawa or Unified Remote Work, that's the objective. So a little bit more, I'm going for the doers, the ABC of a webinar event, and a little bit of the back office and how you can get started with this. Well, first of all, you have to schedule it. So I will share a link at the end of the presentation where we came up with a few offers that you could actually schedule an event with us. And but it's and thinking about levering partnerships and affiliates. So whenever you're going to do something, it's also a good idea just to step back and don't do it just for the sake of doing. And I know we all get better with practice, but think about who could benefit, who should you have in your audience, who would you like to ask out, who would you maybe even like to have a interview with and bring into the conversation. So those are ways that you could do when you're doing a webinar. Invite a guest speaker. So although I'm here, there is no reason why, as I get more comfortable, I will share the next time is invite a guest speaker, get their opinion. Find leaders in your field that could come and speak and actually solidify what you're doing. What I love about this, that's a little bit more like the collaboration. You find somebody that is doing something like you chat about it, and then you figure out how you can help each other, because there is no way that, let's face it, when we rock and roll, that we could actually host every webinar. So maybe there's somebody else out there going, you know, this is a cool idea, but this is what I could do. So in your industry, also think about what can happen when you schedule a webinar or reach out and start talking to somebody. And just again, showcase yourself as the thought leader. And you're not sure where to start? Well, like I mentioned, I'm going to share with you a little bit later our keynote presentation and how you can get started. So if you're going to do something, they suggest plan lead time for 2 weeks before, because this gives everybody an opportunity to remember the event. Now, Bernie, I will say, has done an amazing job of pushing events out, and we have meetup and everything. So I think there's 2 ways of looking at this. Sometimes you get over inundated, like, you know, with meetup and stuff, or sending out a thing, but it's to keep people on the forefront of their mind. So if they like what you're going to be talking about, that they're going to show. So how can you do that? You can maybe reward your participants with a gift. I like this, like run a mini promo with a fun hashtag. So there's another reason to have a chat with with your team or with a person that's going to help you do the webinar. What is something fun that will make you stand out, that you could talk about each other? And of course, shamelessly promote yourself. That was a little hard, but hey, I actually went and promoted myself on my LinkedIn today. And I share this with you because I know some of you are seasoned and some of you are starting out. I've always been good behind the bar scenes. I've been good at running events for everybody else, maybe not so good. So think about this, like, you know, if we are not talking about what we can do, how does anybody know? And I'm pretty sure that I've got a lot of secrets up my sleeve that people have no idea, because I don't really talk about it. So, and why do you want to do this with your participants? Well, it's going to make them feel valued. You're going to increase attendance, because we're going to get smart. We're going to say, hey, bring a guest. And maybe it's bringing a guest is going to offer a next little promotion. So again, this is all sitting back in other private or in other groups or conversations and just having a real strategy session. What are we going to do? How are we going to make them feel special? How are we going to get them out there in our tenants and spread our word? And then, of course, after the event, that is, you know, I'm sure you've heard the fortune is in the follow-up. So it's reconnect. Everyone is absolutely a lead. And if not a lead as far as like a sale for your business, it might be someone helping promote, maybe it's a collaboration for something else you have in common. But absolutely, whoever has shown up has got some type of interest in what you are promoting, and it is really important to follow up and, you know, thank them, direct them, and do that. So, and as I mentioned here, you know, determine the status. They might be a client, they might be a new referral, and then strategize your next step. So before you do this, it's always good to sit back and think, okay, well, what is the call to action? If nothing else, where do I want to take them? Do I want to take them to a newsletter? Do I want to get their feedback? And for those that have participated in our Connect Ottawa calls, you will notice that you will get a survey after the call, usually, that gives you a Q&A to answer questions. Are you inviting them to a workshop, a future webinar? These are all key things to remember when you're doing it. And really, whenever you do any type of plan, again, I'm going to just keep referring back to SMART goals. It's about sitting down, planning, preparing, and then executing. So why am I excited about this? Well, as mentioned, I am with Unified Remote Work, as well as a founder of Connect Ottawa. And it was being introduced to the right people at the right time. And as I mentioned earlier, it led me on a year's journey of understanding what I didn't know, learning more. I mean, a lot of times, and even right now, maybe I'm not totally clear on the terminology, but I get the whole concept. So it was very important for me to align myself with the right SaaS and service provider, which ended up being Unified Remote Work. We have software to maximize your rate of return, and a webinar platform with marketing capabilities for web hosting from start to finish. So literally what I liked about Unified Remote Work when I got introduced to it, as far as marketing or webinars or whatever, it was your business on wheels. When I mentioned I owned a pub, or you'll find anybody doing that right today. I mean, back then that was, I'm not going to say how many years, but right now it would probably be like $10,000 a month to open the doors. So for what we offer, this is like opening your virtual office where you can work with a team of people, have artificial intelligence on your side, and catapult your results. And how do we do that? Well, I'll say, when I came into the mix, I was the master of relationships, and I love business development and thinking outside the box. When I met Stefan, he has a lot of things up his sleeve. He's a digital marketing analyst, and he is a master of workflows. So we are a total complement to each other, because both of us needed help in what the other was not really great at. So when you're looking at this and doing it, like, think about a team of people to take you to the next level that may not know what you don't know, or they know what you don't know, I guess. And then I like to call our artificial Rosie and Ken, because again, they are the master of decision making. And literally, this is not a scary thing. The scary thing is working with this for the past year and a half is it totally keeps you on track. And sometimes I might get a little noise with Rosie and Ken, because they keep me a little too much on track and offering solutions and stuff. But this is a team that we have that can support you with your marketing and business needs as part of Connect Ottawa. And on that note, what I'm going to do, because I've shared this, oh yeah, I like this quote: social media is like a gallery to showcase all of the value of your products. It can tell the world why they are different from the others. So when you walk through, create a plan, figure out who your audience is, what you're going to do, what your message is, that's when the magic actually begins. And on that note, I am going to stop sharing my screen, I think, stop share, and come back to all these beautiful faces. And before I forget, because sometimes I do, I'm just going to, before we do question and answer, I wanted to put in the chat a copy of today's presentation, so you can go back and take a look if you'd like, with some links to an offer for a 7-day trial on Unified Remote Work. You can check that out, but if you are interested in that, I'd love to have a conversation with you so I can share a little bit more deep into your personal situation of what we do and how it works. And that's a second. I love when I copy the copy of today's presentation. So this should be a copy of today's presentation. And the one last thing I want to share is with Connect Ottawa. Are you ready to go to market? And our new service that can help you host a webinar and launch your product, service, or business. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. Deep breath, deep breath. Just get feng shui with that. Does anybody have any questions for Margaret Ann? So first question I would ask Margaret Ann, speaking opportunities, I think one of the things would be doing webinars. I think podcasts would also be, or video casts. And if you're not hosting one, get on one, right? And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, Bernie, you know what? That's a great thing. So, when you're in business, you just need to get your word. You need to get out there. So if you're just starting out, the thing is, we are our business billboard. So if we don't go out and talk about us, then who else is going to talk about us? So it's so important. And you're right, whether it's a podcast or a keynote session, sharing a webinar, always looking for opportunities that you can get yourself in front of other people. How about you, Michael?
You're on mute, sir.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I have a question. When you talked about identifying your targets, I don't know if it's a question or I don't know how to phrase it. How about like creating like a customer persona?
Exactly, same thing. Yeah.
Okay. It's more like
no, that's good. So that's a good point, Michael. No, target market it's creating your persona. Who are they? Like, the clearer we can get down on this. And I know sometimes, probably a year ago, it's like, I want every business person on the planet. Well, that pretty well opens it up. And I always say, well, the universe can't help, but it doesn't know. So let's keep fine tuning it. So like Alan on the call earlier said, your target market was actually seniors, I believe. People that were retiring. Willie, you're good at this. Who's your target market?
Old men.
Who did you say?
Oh, Willie, you're bad. You're bad, Willie. You're bad.
I was being
Did he say
facetious.
what I think he said?
Men of a certain age who are reluctant to open up and bury their feelings. So that's my avatar, if you like. I'd like to make an observation because I was just about to put my hand up. As a man of a certain age, marketing and sales and brand identity and all that malarkey is a kind of a closed book to me. But one takeaway from your presentation, Margaret Ann, was shamelessly promote yourself. And why not? It's not, we're kind of trained not to blow our own trumpet. Who do you think you are? No. If you're good, you're passionate about what you do and offer a valid service to your customers, why would you not shamelessly promote yourself? So that's the only thing about marketing that I understand.
Willie, thanks for bringing that up because, that is one of the hardest things for, especially like, this call, many people are like, small businesses, entrepreneurs, like they could be solo and that's difficult. And, a lot of times it probably, I'm just going to say, because I used to teach on this is stems from family and friends. You first mention what you're doing and they all look at you in the traditional world of the Monday to Friday night. Are you crazy? Like, are you nuts? Like what's wrong with you? I've heard that for 40 years. So now they don't bother because I go, I don't care because, this is me. It's not going to change much now. And so, like you said, if we're not out talking about ourselves, who else is going to talk about us? And I'm just going to give one quick, because I thought, when I was in the clothing business, I used to, when I said walking billboard, I've literally walked the clothes, I walked the jewelry, I've been in fashion shows, I've been on stage in Toronto, I forget about all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. But one of the things is when I sold clothes, guess what? I wore the clothes that I sold. So therefore, everybody go, oh, wow, that's really nice. So the 3 tips I'll offer is the people that couldn't afford the clothes. I'd say, well, you should have a party, Jen, because, the hostess is going to get half price. Plus, I know you have a whole huge circle of friends that would like to probably see these clothes. So and you like to have fun. So, they'd have it because of that. The other person would say, oh, those would be the best clothes. I would never wear them. So they would buy their one little outfit. So everything is about, let us put it out there. Who are we marketing to? In that, I was marketing to women. I wanted the 30-year-old women that had an income, they had money that they wanted to spend on clothes, and they liked to have fun, and they were going to show up. So Willie, just like you said, now I know that what you said was what you said. I thought you said old, I think you said old men. I'm going something like, I'm like, what did he say? But you know, this is important. It doesn't matter. As long as we know who our client is. Anybody else want to add on that?
So Margaret Ann, would you rely on your customers if you had a satisfied client? Would you leverage that?
Absolutely. And in more than one way. So if you have a satisfied client, the next step, and this is like such a huge, this is, well, as some of you may know, we actually have a business online courses, and these will all be little mini courses within it, but also we're looking for experts out there that are course creators that will take this, because this could be a whole, definitely, you know, curriculum. But absolutely, after you have clients, then it's like, what do I do with them? They love my product, they love what I'm doing. Are they going to share your event? Maybe they'll invite you to their podcast. What can I do to help them? The biggest thing I learned when doing direct sales was, at first you were just doing the motion. You didn't maybe understand the truth in the follow-up with those clients. But if you picked your top 10 clients and really got to know them, bent over backwards for them, did whatever it was, like, you know, figured out how you can help them, they many times would carry your business because they became your ambassador. They were the ones talking about you. And isn't it nice when somebody else talks about you and you don't have to talk about yourself? Michael?
I just want to add a tip to like what Willie said about you marketing your own self. It's something I just keep in my head, that if you don't blow your own trumpet, it's gonna get rusty. So.
I love it. So, okay, quick show of hands. Everybody in this call, do you find it easy to talk about yourself? Put your hand up if you find it easy to talk about yourself.
Go for it, Michael. Don't be shy. Keep that hand up, man.
So we got 369. Yeah. So look at that. Like, you know, it's small. So we really need to change this number to 9. To 9 people that find it easy to talk about themselves. Now, the interesting thing is here, for the coaches on the call, that's called your belief, you know? What is your belief? And it's about changing those beliefs which are set in our mind from such a young age, or whenever something traumatic happened in our life. So if you need to change that stinking thinking and get out there, you probably want to talk to Willie or Alan or somebody that can help you change those thoughts.
Go ahead, Tanya. Oh, sorry.
A simple thing I thought about there, Margaret Ann, is you go on Amazon and you look for something. What's the first thing you look for? The reviews. Because you're not going to buy a 2-star thing, right? So leveraging your clients when you've done a cracking job for them and they leave you a lovely testimonial and you put it on your LinkedIn profile or on your website. So the next person who comes along is, oh, that looks nice. What's the first thing they're going to do? They'll look at the reviews. And if you've got a lot of very, very good reviews, that's, to me, marketing without any pain, if you like. All you've done is you've asked them for a review, they've given you a nice review, you've published it, and people think, okay, that's a good review, I'll go with you.
Yeah, Willie, this is okay. We'll get to you one second. Yeah, this is really great stuff, and these are all things that honestly you should just write down, because this is all part of the process. And you know, if you're not getting the review, it's okay. People forget, so you can ask. You can say, "Did you like my service? Would you mind giving me a quick review?" Oh, okay, yeah. And sometimes they don't. So you can actually even include a little note. Oh, by the way, here's a little template to guide you. So they don't have to think, you know? So whatever it takes. I mean, some people do take the time to write a beautiful review, but if you're not getting that, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're not doing a good job. Sometimes we just have to ask, and they don't know. Again, if we don't actually sometimes mention it, they might just say it in a conversation, eh? Oh, jeepers, I love working with Willie, but that's just in the air unless I write it down. So good point, Willie. What about you, Tanya?
Well, I just wanted to just make the observation that when you asked, who is comfortable talking about themselves and marketing themselves, that went across gender lines. I don't know if you saw that, but anyway,
I
I
love
thought it was
that.
rather feminine. I thought it had a rather feminine look.
You always know. That's good stuff. You're a data girl.
I just wanted to echo your statement about how you and Stefan complement each other. Just last week, I was at the book launch for Your Working Genius that Pat Lencioni had written, and is out, well, supposedly out in the marketplaces now, although Indigo South Keys is having problems with their inventory. They've changed their program and they don't know where things are. But anyway, so at some point I will get a copy of this book, whereby it's really starting, it's getting people to understand that nobody is an island, that nobody can do things completely on their own, and that the best teams are cognitively diverse, in that what I am good at is likely what somebody else is not so good at, but they are good at things that I am not. And putting those together is fantastic, because then you can cover off all of the weaknesses that you might be encountering, even though, this might be selling a bit of ego, but it's much more important to get cohesive, synergistic teams together so that overall in the collective, you can make great strides.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head of the nail. And what I've noticed for anybody that's team creating teams, this doesn't always just happen overnight. It's like it's like a marriage, right? You get married and you think it's all good, like the wedding is all wonderful because you're planning this big thing, and then it's over and then reality sets in, and then a week down the road he leaves the socks on the floor or whatever, and it's like, are you kidding me? And next thing, you find yourself working through all these different challenges and situations that you hadn't thought about it. But the biggest thing is, and I'm always saying, communication is the key to success. So find your tribe and just try to keep working through it. Just keep persevering, because I think that's it. Sometimes we quit before we truly get to that. And for me, I'm a little bit, well, as you all notice, and for me, sometimes it is having those hard or demonstrative conversations. I am not so much that I'm always about being perfect or what everybody thinks is perfect. I am that, okay, I am not going to sleep until we get this figured out. Like, that's it. So maybe it's just that, about having a little bit more persistence. How about you, Claudia?
Okay. I would like to know so I am Italian, and I have Italian public in this moment, an Italian target, because I don't speak English affordably. So in this moment, what is the better form, the better format of education for my target, webinar, educational pills, right, or speaking for my target? Because if I want to have only an Italian target, is an situation. If I want an international target, I can start with another way. So what do you think, Anne-Margaret, about this?
Claudia, I think with anything, and I actually see that Fatima also said, do you think GTM plan should be included in your marketing plan? So I think the first thing is to figure out the message that you are wanting to portray. What's your business? What audience do you want to meet? Get the plan. So really that's it doesn't matter what language you do that in, right? Because it's the end result is going to be the same thing. But the brilliant thing today is I am more than happy to share tools and technologies that can take you to that next level. So translating, videos, anything like that, blogs, whatever, is if it's conversion to a different language, that's the issue. That's not a problem. I think that you're doing well. If you're going to be the person doing those I'd have to know a little bit more about your business, okay? And that's where maybe a call would be a good thing, but then it could lead to that because there's multiple ways to get the word out, but it's going to probably depend on your call to action in the end. So are you going to be talking to all these English people, or is that going to be somebody else talking to them? It's like, who is it? And you know what? Don't think, as Michael and everybody, like they were saying earlier, like, it's fine tune it. What is your persona? Who are you really looking to address? Will probably help. If you walk through the steps of creating a SMART goal, you might find by the end of the process, you'll have a clearer thing that it's not the whole world. It's a smaller, defined segment that you're looking at. I don't know.
Okay.
Does that help? Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, I understand.
Okay, good.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Margaret. And
thank you for coming and asking. So look at that. Do we have any more questions? We got 1 minute. I love it. You know what?
Maybe I'll add one more thing on this whole working genius thing. I love what I've now learned is the Western formulation of the Ikigai. So it's not the Japanese formulation, it's the Western interpretation of the Japanese version of the Ikigai that I have fallen in love with. So I have to make that clear. And in there, it talks about the difference between what you're good at and what you love doing. And the working genius is trying to align those two, because a lot of people may get trained in things because of familial pressures or what the market wants or what, a whole bunch of other things. And you may be good at certain things, but you can't stand doing it. Or it's only tolerable to do, like, okay, I can do this, but I don't love it. And that working genius is trying to get people to move into what they love to do, so that, work is not going to be as punishing as it typically is. Everybody has to do a little bit of what they don't like to do, but the majority of your time should be spent on something that you do enjoy doing, that enriches you and gives you energy.
Right. I like that. Actually, I don't know, maybe we should have a session where we just all come on and just have one topic and we share our opinions and stuff like that, because it always makes me think of something else. Like even Tanya, when you're sharing that, it could be a whole another conversation, but it's so true. But on that note, I'm going to have to give everybody permission to go. I would like to thank you all for joining today and helping me through my second presentation. As said, like when I was at the bar, thanks Tanya, at the bar or anything, I was the one bringing people in and organizing everything. So I never really had to take the stage. I just directed everybody else what to do. So for anybody out there going, just do it. That's all I can say. Learn and do. And if you're interested, I did put my email in there. I am on LinkedIn. I think I'm attached to most of you, but I would welcome another conversation. In the PDF, if you downloaded it, there is a 7-day trial to unified remote work. But before you would even go there, I would like to share how that can help you and how that could be your new online digital space where you gather all the information with tools and technologies that will take you to that next level. So, thank you, Bernie, and thank you everybody for joining us today. And we'll maybe see you Thursday at 12 for our strategy session.
Great, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It was nice meeting you all.
Okay, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye for now.
thank you all.
Bye.
Okay, I have to say one thing to you, Bernie. Oh, is he gone? I can't believe how quick it went. So that was good. Now I know what it's on the other side, because I think you get so nervous and it's like, what are we going to say? And it's like, oh, good, it's 2 o'clock. So again, if anybody's hesitating doing one, if it's your first time, 15, 20 minutes, do a Q&A, and the time goes like this, and you'll just feel a lot more confident at the end. So thank you.
Thank you to all. Thank you to
Okay,
all
take care,
my
bye. Bye.